Welcome to another episode of Geek-men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I am Dustin.
Yo, Dairy in the house.
Indeed. And this is another episode of ADHD Theater. We will be reviewing and talking about Santastein and Dear Santa tonight. See if I can remember those movies.
I'm so excited. Oh, my favorite watcher. I'm just going to start calling Pam mom.
Right.
She's like my podcast mom.
There you go. Podcast mom.
Yep.
Oh boy. So what you watching these days? What do you got?
So actually, just random. I logged into Amazon the other night, and true, very true. I just logged into Amazon and I was just looking around for something to watch. I don't know why, because we have like 80 shows going right now, my wife and I.
So much.
Yeah. And I saw it's Freevee, which always pops up for me through Amazon.
Yeah.
It is a show called Rogue Heroes. It's about the unbelievable story how the British Special Air Service started during World War II.
Okay.
And it's like the opening is basically like this show will seem like it's untrue to you, but it's mostly based on like a true story. So they've dramatized some of it, but so it's got Theon Greyjoy, the guy who played him from Game of Thrones, in it. And then
so how do you feel about him now?
He actually, in this show, like, he's a really buttoned up like British soldier, like the dependable one.
Yeah.
So it's a much different role when you look at Theon Greyjoy or the little douchebag in John Wick.
Right.
So it's actually a lot different role for him, and shows a lot of, like, he's got good range.
That he can, range.
But it's got this Irishman is one of the founding members, and they have trouble controlling him. And I mean, these are special forces guys, so they're all a little off kilter. Well, he takes the cake. Like, he can just fly off the handle at any time and stuff. But it's really interesting, like, just basically how it started was as there was a guy who was doing almost like fake intelligence. And so he created a unit that didn't exist and was using it to give out fake intelligence to the Nazis and the Italians. And all of a sudden, this guy had this idea of starting this clandestine unit to blow up planes on the ground so the Air Force didn't have to shoot them out of the air. And they just turned that fake unit into a real unit, and it became the British Special Forces. And it's a pretty cool show. Like, it's one of those ones where I went into it with zero expectations, and by the end of the first episode, I knew I was hooked, because, like, the beginning and the end of every episode typically has, like, well-known rock songs like AC/DC.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what other bands they had in there, but, like, it gets you really hyped going into the next episode or as you're starting an episode. And so that was a newer one that we watched. I mean, literally everything else is the same stuff from a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
All of Taylor Sheridan's stuff that he's got going right now.
Yeah.
We've been watching each of those. I still need to finish Tulsa King.
God,
we started Cross.
It was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, I started Cross. I watched the first episode. Haven't went back to it.
Yeah, that was a good show. Watched that all the way through.
I'm trying to think what else we've watched, but yeah, I can't. We started Shrinking. Haven't went back to it. The second season of it, which I've probably talked about it on here before, but Shrinking is probably one of my favorite shows on Apple TV.
Really?
Harrison Ford is fucking hilarious in that show.
Huh.
He plays this old psychologist that's like real stuck in his ways, which is a typical Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
But there's this one episode where he takes an edible and it is just insane. Like him playing high during this episode. It's great. But I mean, it's a really good show. Like I'd recommend check it out. Like it'll surprise you how good it is.
I mean, Jason Segel and Harrison Ford, it didn't like, I just saw it and it's like shrinking. And
they play off each other so well because they're totally opposite personalities.
Yeah.
And literally it starts off with Jason Segel, his wife has died. He's a psychologist helping out these patients. Right. And he's like going through all the grief of his wife. And he comes up with this kind of new approach to his patients, which other psychologists are like, we don't do that. And he's like treating them like outside the box with these other techniques, and shit goes awry. Harrison Ford I think he owns the practice and then they work there. So Harrison Ford's like trying to keep them corralled, and like their interactions are amazing because Jason Segel's kind of like handsy, feelings guy.
Yeah.
And Harrison Ford don't want none of that shit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And so his insults in that show, like, are amazing. It's like Gary Oldham in Slow Horses. Like
another show I haven't seen yet, but
man, you're behind. You got four seasons, 5 seasons.
So many shows. They have so many shows, and I just keep because a lot of the times I try to watch the show that we really like or want to watch with Umaira.
Yeah.
But she's not here half the time. So it's like, so I got to like come up with things that I don't think she'll like. And I just watch on my own, and it's just like, whatever.
That's how we are. Like my wife is such an avid reader. Like we may only get one episode in, a day after dinner. And then she reads, my wife averages a book a day and then, or more probably. And I go like get into my fucking Red Dead Redemption and GTA role play stuff or other games. Right. And
speaking of, you should bring that to this network, the Madness Network.
Oh,
right in, man.
The GTA role play.
Yeah.
It's
you should think about it.
I mean, it's something that is a possibility. I mean, I've been too lazy. I've been meaning to stream for months now, but just been too damn lazy. And
well, if you have your episodes recorded, he can air them.
Yeah. Because what I thought about doing was just going live on TikTok and then like record the episode, and then that shit gets wild. Like if you guys don't know about role play, like through GTA or Red Dead Redemption, there are servers out there where they've customized the servers. They put in their own programs that people create.
Yeah, Popsicles will air them.
Yeah. So, like, literally, my character is named China White.
Yeah.
I play the original China White from the 1800s in Red Dead, and then I play China White the Sixth in GTA. And literally, they both are just little drug addicts. In GTA, I ride around on a moped, I dig through the trash, do drugs, sell drugs. Like, it is very adult.
Yeah.
And, here's my voice that I use. Hey, guys, what's up? Which was inspired by Tyrone Biggums from Chappelle Show. The crackhead, and Tally from South Park. So, but yeah, literally it's just mayhem all the time.
Oh,
say the most inappropriate shit in conversations with people. If you want to check out clips, go hit my TikTok, Trash Pandas Junkyard.
Yeah.
And you'll find, I don't even know how many clips I have on there at this point, but it is just chaos.
it seems like every time I go to your page, it's like there's another one and another one and another one. It's like, oh crap, I have to catch up.
I try to do at least one a day.
Yeah, right.
But like I have clips build up. Like I have 8 right now that I could post all at once. But I mean, I just save them up, and then like when I go on vacation and stuff, I have some build up to where if I've got 7 or 8 in the tank, I can still post one every day when I'm not playing. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's amazing. Like you make friends on there. Like we had a gang in the GTA one for a while, but we've changed cities, which is basically changing servers. And then in Red Dead Redemption, the Wapiti tribe actually kind of welcomed China with open arms. So he's actually in a Native American tribe as kind of an adopted little crackhead that,
Adopted
says some of the dumbest shit you've ever heard.
Oh, geez. I bet that's a good time. You definitely need to stream it here and on the network. Pops is eager to get at it, I'm sure.
I just got to stop being lazy is the key. That's what it all boils down to, laziness.
So we got Zombie in the comments. He says that he's sorry he couldn't make it, basically, and he just couldn't get away to do it. He's on a side quest tonight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, which I haven't even looked at the future schedule. Like, do we cut near? Does one of our air dates happen around Christmas?
So Christmas is what, Tuesday, Wednesday this year, I think. I think the 23rd's a Monday.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because my wife and I's anniversary's we got married on the 23rd. So that's the only reason I know that, because most days I couldn't tell you what week it is, what month it is, what the date is.
Same.
Yeah. So that's the only reason I know. So it'll be what, the 27th would be the show afterward.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so I guess we'll probably still plan on having it then and not miss.
Yeah, I mean, as long as nothing crazy pops up, I'll be here.
Yeah. Oh boy. So here's what I've been watching. Again, pretty much all the same stuff from the previous time that I talked about it, but I did start watching Superstore.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a half hour, 40-minute show type, and I watch that with Humaira as we eat our lunch before she goes to work.
That one's been out for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when it came out. I didn't want to watch it when it came out because I worked for a large retailer,
right?
And it was just like PTSD,
right.
So I just never watched it.
You'd think that would be the case for her too, but yeah, I guess not. So she was eager to watch it because I guess her coworkers had suggested that she watch it, but I don't know. We'll get around to it. But what is? Oh, next week is Friday the 13th.
Oh, damn.
Oh, well, and shoot. That totally put a whole thing in my like a irk. Oh well. I don't have anything planned for the 13th. We'll have to figure out. I'm sure we'll come up with something. But anyway, so the other thing I was watching is Pumaira's off too. So the other thing I'm watching is Arcane. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I don't think I ever checked it out though.
Yeah, I just thought
it's
it was
Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what one you're talking about.
Yeah, so it was like meh, but all of a sudden I just keep seeing Arcane, and it's like, all right, well I don't have anything to watch. Maybe I'll check it out. So I did, and it's okay. It's not bad. I'd be interested to hear, what you'd think of it. But
Yeah, I may check it out because there's a lot of times late at night. My wife's going to sleep. I stay up and try to get an episode or two into something. So
right. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I was at first they just throw you into it and you're trying to figure it out, and then they do a time jump after like a couple episodes, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, now what's happening? So it just threw me off a bit. But I'm sure if I like rewatched it and actually paid attention, instead of like surfing my phone or something like that, then it probably would be fine. But it would probably make sense. But anyway.
Oh, actually, today was a big day for me.
Really?
Yeah. So today was the release of the 5th book in the Brandon Sanderson Stormlight Archive series.
Oh.
So I've got a physical copy coming because I try to get all his autograph copies because I want a whole set autograph. Plus, I get the leather bounds, autograph leather bounds when they do the Kickstarters for them. Really? So I'm waiting on the 2nd book in that. But yeah, just dropped the 5th book. I haven't got the physical copy yet. It's got to be somewhere around 1,500 pages long.
Really?
Because I got the audio book on Audible, and it's
how many hours is it?
60 plus hours. What? It's like 60 crap. And some change, I think. So, yeah. And I mean, I think we've been waiting on it 4 years at this point.
Yeah.
Like he has a person hired at his company, Dragonsteel, that literally just manages all the lore. And when he's writing, they make sure that all of his lore stays consistent, because this book series kind of pulls together. So he's created a universe called the Cosmere. Okay. And certain characters are world hoppers, and they're in multiple different book series. So like, what's the Mistborn? There's characters from Mistborn that show up in Stormlight Archive. What is it? Warbreaker, Elantris. All these different books have different characters and different entities that show up in the Stormlight Archive. So, so it's the 5th book. It's supposedly like the storyline's going to be pretty epic, because it's going to be the last book in the first arc, and then it takes a time jump in the second 5 books, if it stays 10 books total. Yeah. But yeah, it came out today, so I listened to, I think, the first 3 hours this morning. I was just like, I gotta listen to this shit. Like,
right.
I can't not. But yeah, so I'll be entrenched in that for the next week or two, just trying to get through that. And I'm so like into that series. It's probably my favorite book series, followed by the Wheel of Time. Okay. And so far, the first 4 books, I've enjoyed them all. They're not all the same quality. Like, I would probably say book 2 is my favorite of the series. Really? Okay. But there's not a bad one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Book 2 just has my favorite scenes in it, is the reason why it's probably my favorite. But I'd say it's book 2, and then barely below it's book 1, and then book 4 is barely below that, and then 3's probably barely below that if I had to rank them. But there's nothing that even hits mediocre for me. And nice. His writing style, because he's the one who finished Wheel of Time. Right. So Robert Jordan died. Yep. There was still there was 1 book to be written, but then they ended up splitting it into 3 books. And those 3 books ended up being 3 of my favorite books in the series, with the last book being, I sat and read the last book in the Wheel of Time series, A Memory of Light, in one sitting. I think it was 1,100 pages. I didn't eat, so my blood sugar dropped. And I remember I went somewhere right after I was done, and I was like, shit, I gotta get something to eat. So I went to a B-Dubs and just ate like 35 wings because I was so hungry. So, but yeah, that was a big deal for that to drop today, and I've been waiting on it for 4 years, and so
yeah. I know. I get that way. It's the same when Jim Butcher releases a novel, or Craig Johnson. He's my favorite, sort of Western type author. That their books are so good, and you end up listening to the entire thing and like being like, oh crap. All right, I'll start it over again.
I've probably listened to this series. I've read every book, the physical copy, because I always read them eventually. But I've probably listened to the series on Audible.
Yeah.
6 or 7 times. Well, some of the books 6 or 7 times. Book 4 I've only listened to twice because I listened to it when it first came out, and then I read it, and then I listened to it again. But yeah, like I've consumed them so many, and there's so much shit that I realize every time
right
I go back and listen to it.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me. Like, I think I did that when Jim Butcher released his most recent book, which was like a year or so ago. I remember going back and I listened to them all. But I usually have a physical copy of some of them. I try to keep a physical copy, but then I listen to the audiobook so that way the pages don't get messed up and all that. Plus, it's super enjoyable. Like, I don't know, it's not like the monotoned, no,
Yeah.
And they really get into it. I know there's been a couple books that his name is Mark Thompson, and he read, I don't know, a ton of Star Wars books, and they are like actual movies. They have lightsaber effects, and the whoosh whoosh, and then the sublight effects as they're they have all those effects in the book, and it's just like, why would I want to watch 4, 5, or 9, 10, and 11 books when I could, or why would I want to watch those movies when I could listen to the books that are so much better?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Revenge of the Sith, the book, is still one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
Like I probably didn't even know there was a book out for the movie until Eric Bertram told me about it. We had just become friends, and so I picked up a copy of Matt Stover's Revenge of the Sith, and it is so much better because it goes into depth about like why Obi-Wan Kenobi's such a great lightsaber fighter. Like his style's so simple that like he never makes mistakes and all. Like it's so much more descriptive about things you can't see in a movie.
Right. And and the whole thing about it goes into depth about like, it somehow manages to convey more emotion. Like you understand what is going on in their hearts and minds because you actually get a look into it, and it's spelled out in front of you for those that are just like, oh, he's crying. No, there was so much more happening in that scene. You just have to like break it down and understand like, okay.
Well, my favorite scene from all Star Wars movies is the one where Anakin's on Mustafar and his eyes glowing, and like his hood covers half of his face, and you see his eye glowing, and like what you can see the tear track going down his face. To me, that's like the coolest shit in Star Wars. Like, but I mean, I've loved that movie ever since it came out, even though, a lot of people, that one didn't get as much hate as the other two.
People were like, oh shit. Okay.
Attack of the Clones was just kind of to me. I think out of the 3, it's probably my least favorite of that trilogy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because Phantom Menace, I mean, the Duel of Fates at the end, and I enjoyed the whole pod racing stuff. I mean, I was a freshman in high school, so I thought that shit was cool. I had the pod racing game on original Xbox. That fucking game was amazing. Like, I mean, it was so cool.
Yeah.
And like people just shit on a lot of that part, like Jake Lloyd, poor kid.
Poor kid.
Yeah, but I mean,
bad.
there was parts of it. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the Gungans and how they did some of that, but
but they served a point.
Mm-hmm.
And even more so, I feel like Jar Jar got his like almost a sort of a redemption in the Clone Wars arc.
Yeah.
Where he's actually like doing his job, and it's like, oh wow, now you're doing something instead of being a puppet. And oh, well, Padme would do this. I think I'll do it.
Well, I mean, you got to understand the way movie studios operated at that time.
Mm-hmm.
They geared the prequel trilogy, at least the first movie, towards kids. Like they wanted to get kids involved in the series, and then they got darker from there as the kids got older. I mean, they got darker, and I was in college. I think I was a freshman when Phantom Menace came out, and then I was in college when Revenge of the Sith came out, and one of my buddies got a screener copy of it that they send to the theaters that's uncleaned up. Like it's got the running times on it and shit. And he brought it over to our house and we watched it before it even came out in theaters, and I was fucking blown away. But I mean, I've been a Star Wars junkie my entire life.
Yep.
And I mean, but people who are my dad's age, the original trilogy is all Star Wars is to them.
Yeah.
Like they don't recognize the prequel trilogy for the most part or the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
But if you talk to little kids nowadays, like people who don't have the influence of like huge Star Wars fans that like from our generation or even their grandparents, they love the sequel trilogy. So, I mean, there's little kids like that got into it. Yeah. But I'm saying not like not kids of fans like you and I who didn't enjoy it as much. But there's little kids out there that they just got started in Star Wars, and they probably think that's the best thing since sliced bread. Just like I thought the prequel trilogy was freaking rad. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just a generational thing in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But I still think Disney shit on the whole property, and I hate them for it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Except for the Vespa scene. The Vespa gang, fucking hands down, great work.
What are you talking about?
What is it in Book of Boba Fett?
Oh,
there's the gang that ride around the little scooters. I'm like, that shit's so trash. I'm sorry. No way.
I thought they served a point, and
Rogue One's the greatest thing that Disney created. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, I guess it's okay, but
like it had the feel, the look, the grittiness of the original trilogy to me. Yeah. Too much that Disney has done has been, in my opinion, too clean. I think Rogue One's probably the pinnacle of the Disney era, but
I don't know. We have Jonathan saying Rogue One and Andor are great from the new Star Wars stuff.
There we go, Jonathan. I'd give you a cookie if I could.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not all about that, but I digress. We should probably talk about these movies.
We can talk about other stuff. I mean, a lot more interesting than these movies. So I think you can already tell where my head's at with these two.
Yeah, probably. But
dairy rant incoming.
How do I get this back up? There we go. There we go. Share.
Dude, I almost bought the freaking Baja Blast Snuggie. I wanted to show up so bad, just rocking that freaking Snuggie here in my chair. God, I still may just splurge. It's only $20.
Yeah. My
Oh
mom
yeah,
says they should
100%.
have gone with the EU instead of the Disney stuff.
I
Yeah.
mean, you got the Timothy Zahn stuff, literally 1, 2, 3,
Right.
and
Right there.
then they totally redo Thrawn and all that. Fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was that kid who was nose deep in those Timothy Zahn books.
Yep. Yep. I love those books. I love the duology. Loved the Yuzhan Vong and the Swarm War and the whole Darth Kaitis, spiral. And yeah, Abeloth was probably the best villain ever. Hands down, the most terrifying. I actually I got the Dark Ray, where she's like in her brown or black Empress gowns, and an Abeloth head specifically, so that way I could customize that and put it on that figure. But I haven't customized anything for a while, so
see, and there's so much Battle of Yavin that they could have went with. I mean, you've got the whole Rule of Two trilogy with Darth Bane. I've always Malgus is one of my favorite Sith. Like Darth Malgus, like that whole storyline. You've got Revan and Malak. Like there was so much good material that they could have made other properties with, and just pisses me off what they ended up with.
So are you familiar with Exar Kun?
Yeah.
It kills me to know that they're probably going to go into Andor and not tell that story. And it's like, but it's Exar Kun. It's like, do it. You're already adapting other characters. Like, let's just bring this one in. He's so good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know.
Well, and they keep creating characters and all this shit that they're not dynamic and all. You've got a whole universe of dynamic characters that other people have created for you. Just make shows and movies about them. The fans love them. You'll make money hand over fist. But no, we're going to try out all this other shit that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then we're going to blame the fans, the toxic fandom. Yeah. Well, no, you're just making a product that no one wants to consume. Stop being a moron and run a business.
Right. I don't know.
If I was Disney shareholders, I would fucking sue the company. That's what I would do.
Yeah, maybe we should. We could take up a lawsuit against Disney.
Based off what they've done with Star Wars and now with Marvel. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am not a Marvel fan, but that first 10 years of Marvel movies was really well done.
Yeah.
Some of them were suspect. Some of them weren't as good as I think people make them out to be. But
some of them just weren't very good. But
they made a really good interconnected universe.
Yep.
And then they just shit all over it after that 10 years. And God damn. I'm just on one tonight.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Santastein.
Oh, Jesus.
What did you think of Santastein? Maybe give us a little give us your summary of it.
Well, I mean, kid has Santa's brain in a jar. They bring this rat back to life in a science lab. The special effects during that scene with the lightning or the electricity, terrible. Terrible. I mean, and that's just the tip of the iceberg on what's terrible in this movie. So here's what really disappoints me about this movie. If it was a movie that was made in the 80s, I would 2022 or 2024. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
But to have that quality, the quality acting, the quality of special effects in 2024, I mean, it's one of those movies that's fun to laugh at.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting here and I kind of lost interest in it because it was so bad at parts that, and just the humor was too overt. Like the guy picks up Slay Boy and I'm like, okay, that's dumb. And it's a play on Christmas, but it's spelled Slay, like, slay, kill, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, then there's the scene of them basically drowning the kid in, what is it, eggnog, but the bottle says lactate on it. I'm not sure if lactate makes an eggnog. If someone from Lactate is watching, throw in a comment to let us know if you guys, I've never seen eggnog of theirs, but he's literally just drowning and gurgling. And the music is set in time kind of with his gurgles. Like it was whatever the word is, concordant or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just him gurgling like normal with shit pouring all over his face and out his mouth. It literally felt like it was in time with the music, and there's nothing about this movie that I could take serious. Like it just, to me, it was I don't even know if I'd rate it a B horror movie. It's just one of those movies. Like it's so bad, it's fun to laugh at, but not because there's anything special about it. The acting, the way the scenes were shot, it looked like a high school film project to me.
Yeah, I definitely know that. No, what you're saying there. I don't know. It was okay. Like, it was rough. Like,
I don't think I could say okay.
Okay, well, I'm being generous here.
Yeah.
To lead into the thing I really want to say. I was like watching it and struggling to stay awake.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh my gosh. Then they have a slow scene, like a heartfelt moment between the main interest and the or the main guy and the love interest. And it was
zombie.
It was definitely a hard watch.
Yeah.
It was.
I know what he was doing during it. He was like, painting.
Well, yeah. But so they had that scene, and it's just like, why the hell are they doing this scene when the movie is supposed to be ramping up to be over? Mm-hmm. And then they drag it on for another, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It was like, oh, you could have had this over already, but they decided not to. It was not a fun time. Let's go straight to ratings here. What would you say, Derry?
1 star.
1 star. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I could. I don't even know if I can get myself to 1.5.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I if I'm just going off the what it says here, I can't even say that it was like 2.5. I don't have mixed feelings, or it's not moderately insightful at all. Like it was, I was struggling to stay awake, so it was kind of uninteresting, soulless. So I think maybe a 2 stars at best, and that's being generous.
I might be able to get to a 1.5 because it wasn't enraging. Like I didn't go out and beat the shit out of my neighbor because of it, or beat the shit out of somebody in my house, which I would never do, and I do not condone. Right. But God, it was bad. It was so bad. Like I feel sorry for the people who made it.
Zombie says it was a 2.
Yeah, so I'm going with 1.5.
Yeah. So, and I'm right there at 2. Did I say 2? Yeah, 2.
Yeah, is rough.
Yeah, it was definitely rough. It was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I digress. Let's move on to Santastein, or
Here,
to Dear Santa.
I'll let you kick this one off.
So Dear Santa is a Jack Black movie, and I'll get into the other stuff later, but he's uh, this kid who has like a sort of a learning disability of sorts. They keep hinting at it, but never come right out and say what it is. But he's obviously dyslexic at least.
Well, the one girl throws it out in class, like his parents and him don't say it, but
Right.
the one girl's like, "You shouldn't laugh at dyslexia."
Yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah. That is true. I forgot about
It's like,
that.
who are you?
So,
Do you diagnose shit? You freaking 10-year-old.
right. But so that's the only real context you get. So he's apparently dyslexic and all that. So he is writing a letter. He's being told that he shouldn't believe in Santa, all this stuff. And but he still does because he thinks his mom likes it. And he just wants to see his mom smile. Blah blah blah. So he writes a letter to Santa. Only as he's writing it, he misspells it and puts Satan. And as he
Common
drops
mistake.
yeah, right. And so he drops the letter off, and this letter magically, and then ends up in hell, apparently, Satan's lair. And so Satan appears in this little kid's bedroom. His name's Liam. And he's like, "Hey, what's up?" You know, in typical Jack Black fashion, like, "Hey, what are you thinking, kid?" You know,
Yeah, he's like a toned down. Was it Dusty from Pick of Destiny? Like, he's not as manic, but
yeah, right,
is still quintessential Jack Black.
yeah. Which of course, I find is hilarious because Jack Black to me is fantastic. But that's besides the point for this movie. But so anyway, he's trying to get this kid, and he's just like, you know, make 3 wishes. It's not like anything you want. You just they stole that from me, the genie and the lamp thing. They stole the 3 wishes from me, and all that. So he's like trying to get him to like, oh, is there a girl you want? Is there some cool ride? We can make you drive, make you fly, do all this stuff. You know, he's trying to get him to use up his 3 wishes, because after he claims his 3rd wish, he gets to snatch his soul. So that's the entire setup of the movie. And he's like, okay, well, there is a girl I like. And he like sort of talks him into it. And so he is like, okay, done. She'll give you a chance. That's all he wanted. And so they interact and stuff back and forth, and they're trying to go about their lives, sort of. He's trying to hit on this girl and not making a move, not being very successful. He's very shy and all that. So he's very much me as a child. But anyway, so that's sort of the gist of the movie. He's trying to get him to use up his wishes so that way he can claim his soul. And then he just keeps wishing for other things, like that aren't selfish and that are, you know, kind of nice for other people. And it's not going the way Satan wants. And he's just like, what are you talking about, kid? Selfless? What? You know, so he's very frustrated. And but Post Malone's involved and all this stuff. Anyway, what do you have to say about it?
So the highlight of the movie for me was Gibby, Liam's best friend.
Yeah.
Bucktooth. I mean,
Yep.
that kid was awesome. Like, I totally enjoyed the scenes with Gibby in them and that. So he was the highlight. I've always liked Jack Black stuff. Probably High Fidelity was one of my favorite movies that he was in. John Cusack movie.
Yeah.
Late 90s, but I freaking love. They work in the record store, and Jack Black is just shitting all over the other employee all the time because he's like an elitist about unknown, like weird genre, shitty bands and all
Right.
this. And I've always liked a lot of the stuff. I mean, Eric Bertram and I used to just rip Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny all the time. We knew all the words to every song.
Totally.
I mean, the freaking Sasquatch scene is one of my favorite scenes in cinema history because I laughed my ass off so hard the first time I ever saw that. But yeah, this movie, it was to me just a straight to streaming, kind of like what we would consider back in the day, like straight to DVD.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not a commercially released movie in the theaters and all that. I feel like it was targeted. The quality of it was targeted to a younger demographic than myself, but I don't know with the whole Satan thing,
Right.
what age would be appropriate for this movie? Teenagers, maybe?
Exactly.
I was like, some of the acting reminded me of like kid movies, like for probably 8 to 12, but I don't know. Maybe I'm old fashioned. I don't know if this movie really fit into that age range. I guess, I mean, some people nowadays weird. Just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, so, but like the mom and dad scenes at the beginning, the acting was pretty stale. Just to me, someone who's watched a lot of cinema throughout their life, it was hard for me to like get into the movie, except for probably some of the Jack Black scenes I thought were good. But other than that, like Gibby was probably my favorite part of the movie, just because the scenes of them walking and talking at the beginning, like I thought that kid was fucking awesome.
Yeah. It was very sort of, I don't want to say Stand By Me, but it was like a coming of youth type film.
Yeah.
Coming of age type film. And they're just walking, talking, and trying to figure out their lives.
Well, and like this kid has lied to his parents about who Gibby is, told him he has cancer. He doesn't have cancer. Tells them that they play football at recess. They're the least athletic kids in the entire school. Like, just his parents were surprised that he even had one friend after 3 months at this school. It just there was parts of it that they had some charm. They were I laughed some, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was a movie. Like, it was and I don't know what Jack Black's career really looks like now. But it was kind of just pencil me in for something to make some money between other probably more well-known roles for him. Although I don't know, like, if he's gotten a whole lot.
Well, he's done Mario, so he's the voice of Bowser, and then he's doing that movie Minecraft, and he plays Steve or something.
Well, he did do the voice for Claptrap in Borderlands.
Okay.
Which didn't get great reviews, but on Fandango, it's rated 4 stars. So it might be one of those things where it got shit on by critics, but it's actually a fun watch.
Yeah.
So he's still been having some stuff. So probably just a pencil me in for something, make a quick payday between, larger paydays for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see that, but I don't know. I did think it had charm. I recall laughing quite a bit, which I was glad, because I had had to go in for treatment today and get a magnesium infusion and all that. So I was actually glad that they had me in a room rather than in like just a chair on the outside of the room, to where I'm not laughing like a idiot. I was able to play it and watch it and be able to laugh and not feel like I'm disturbing everyone. So,
and I will say, like, this isn't my type of comedy either. Like, I like really ridiculous, like British comedy, like really like Monty Python and stuff.
Yeah.
I grew up on Mr. Bean. Like, this just isn't probably my cup of tea when it comes to like some of the comedy. Like, I wanted Jack Black to be a lot more over the top. Like, I love it when he's super manic
and outrage. Like, just the things that got me were like, as he's laughing, he'll occasionally burst out into this goat laugh where he's just like, and it's just it's just like weird. Or he like caws because he's a crow. I don't know. There were very things that so he says
it had bright spots.
Yeah, no, I think it did. But let's see,
it definitely was not Santastein by any means.
Yeah, Santastein was rough, but I don't know.
Well, we got to take it to the board. We got to take it to the board. The unofficially official Baja Blast Rating Board.
And cracking open a can.
Oh, man.
Okay. So
I haven't had Baja Blast in a minute.
He knows how disturbing Dustin's laugh can be. Yeah, I can get disturbing. And I have a wide range of that. But all right. So you want me to go first?
Yeah. Shoot.
I think I'm gonna say 3.5. Because I did like it. I don't, again, like you said, I don't know who this is targeted audience for. Like, I don't know if I want to show my kids that. But yeah. I feel like it was maybe like for the Jack Black fans that just wanted to have a Jack Black Christmas movie. But
yeah.
So I don't know. I thought it was fun. So I'll say 3.5. Very good, interesting concept, execution. Okay. That's 3.5. Okay, so maybe just 3 stars.
Yeah, good. And I would say I'm at like a 2.5. Like, there was bright spots. There was some things I didn't like, but I mean, if you've got, well, I can't say that. I was going to say, if you got kids, be very careful which audience of kids you target. I would say probably like late middle school, early high school kids is probably around, 13, 14, 15 could probably handle this. But then again, I haven't been around kids and all that, recent. So when I was a kid, this would be the least of our worries watching. I mean, we watched every action movie, bloody, gory, everything under the sun. So
yeah, right.
Like this, I mean, a lot of people, is Satan even really that bad of a thing?
Well, it's not so much, I guess, but I don't know. And the thing of it is, he wasn't even Satan.
Yeah.
that's, you know, not gonna sell a movie. But anyway, so you said 2.5. I said 3. Let's talk about the future, the movies for next week.
I think the one you brought up on Netflix.
Yeah.
God, I can't ever remember the name of it.
Carry On.
Carry On. I wanted to say Baggage Claim. That one looks interesting. To me, it actually looked like theatrical release because you got Taron Egerton. Who's the bad guy? It kind of surprised me. Jason Bateman.
Yeah, Jason Bateman. Yeah.
I was like, damn, like that'll be something different for him because he usually plays like the nerdy.
Right.
So, like, I was very intrigued when I saw the preview for it one day. So,
so let's add this to the Dear Santa thing real quick. I just wanted to add, somehow they managed to capture the essence of that, the dad in Santa Claus.
Oh yeah.
And embody it in this new guy that he was playing. It's like, that totally looks and feels exactly like what he would have done or said.
Are you talking about the Tim Allen Santa Claus?
Yeah.
So the stepdad.
Yeah, the stepdad.
Yeah. So the dad in this was like Judge Reinhold's character. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It just felt very much like, oh wow, that's totally him. Mm-hmm. And I then all of a sudden I couldn't get that out of my head until we started talking about it, and then I completely forgot. So.
Oh, and one note on Jack Black. I never knew this until probably a year or so ago. His mom was freaking like a big deal at NASA. Like super intelligent. Like,
yeah.
I forget exactly what she did there, but it was like crazy. And then you just have this kid that's like, I mean, he's like manic genius.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, but yeah, I digress.
So,
but I think Carry On is something that would be a lot of fun to check out.
Do we dare have a action hero beatdown week? Do we do Die Hard and Baggage Claim?
Baggage Claim. Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can already fucking tell you that, I mean, I'll watch Die Hard. I'll watch at least the first 3 Die Hards this week. Like, if I'm watching one, I'm watching at least the first 3.
Not the 4th.
I mean, I'll watch what's that one?
That's the 4th of July one.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the name of it is. Timothy Olyphant's. Yeah, the bad guy. I didn't even mind the one where he was with Jai Courtney, like as his son and everything.
Right.
Like, I mean, John McClane's just an all-time badass character. So
yeah,
I'll watch them all. But to me, the like true heart of Die Hard is the first 3 movies.
That's fair.
Like the other ones are decent, but I mean, a lot of people didn't like the second one all that much after the first one, but then Die Hard with a Vengeance come back, and it was just, to me, we went and saw that in the theater, and it was amazing when it came out. There's so many good parts in all of those movies, but yeah, he's going
down the rabbit hole, huh?
Uh-oh. Yeah, I will with these. Like, there's certain franchises where I'll just watch them out of enjoyment. Like,
yeah,
I've seen them all hundreds of times, probably.
Okay, so Or you mentioned Santa Claus.
That's one maybe we should watch the week of Christmas and then do on that 27th show.
Okay.
Because that's something like I would watch on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Really?
Typically. Oh, yeah. When I was a kid, I'd watch it fucking July. Didn't matter.
All right, so let's do this here. We'll have this one be Carry On Netflix and Die Hard. It's virtually everywhere. But it is on
It's on Tubi, isn't it?
Tubi right now.
Yeah.
Then we'll have a later in the month, like the week of Christmas, we'll have a duel off between the Santa Clauses. The Santa Claus, the movie, with what's his name? Third Rock from the Sun guy.
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow, yeah.
Which is crazy because he still looks roughly the exact same, only with gray hair. Like the dude looks fantastic. He was in the show The Old Man, which I finished a few weeks ago. I mean, dude's immortal.
And so we'll do that and the Santa Claus movie that I grew up with the Tim Allen one.
Mm-hmm. Which I
that.
freaking like. We watched the shit out of that one too.
Right.
But I've only seen the second one a couple times. I've never seen the third one.
I actually like the second one better. But the third one
has Martin Short in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, the third one with Martin Short, that one's a little rough for me because it's like, I don't know. But I like the little lore, the thing they have set up in that. So
yeah.
But anyway, let's do that. What do you say?
I'm in.
Carry On.
I'll probably just watch Die Hard tonight.
On Tubi.
Did you ever watch the movie Red that came out? Oh my god!
With
it's got Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis, yeah.
But John Malkovich in that movie is amazing.
Yeah.
All he wants is that freaking Swedish K submachine gun. And,
yeah.
Oh my god! I'm just sitting here thinking about like Bruce Willis movies that I was into because fucking at one point the dude was pretty good in about everything he put out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was only as he started to decline that it got a little rough, but
yeah, he got into some of those movies that went straight to streaming and
yeah, like Cosmic Sin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. You had to bring that back up. Oh.
Little sore spot for you.
I mean, some of these are going to be sore spots forever. Like, I don't even remember what the Star Wars knockoff was that we watched. Ooh.
Star Crash.
Yeah. I mean, when I joined you guys, we were at the pinnacle with Tremors, and it's hard to get higher than that. Well, and Escape from LA.
I don't know. See, I haven't even seen all those movies, but we'll get there eventually. I'm holding back to watch them as we decide to watch them on the show. But there's shows out there like movies out there and stuff that I haven't seen, like Species.
Oh yeah. I used to watch that over and over and over just so I could pause it during the naked scenes. Yeah. No shame here. No shame.
I know there was a bunch of that on there, but so yeah, Darius or Zombie's laughing. Yeah, so do that. That's the plan. And then get to talk about this here real quick. We have a Monday show. It's frickin' Figures at 10:30. where we talk about all things action figures. Cake turtles. Tune in to find out what those are about. Musk. We talk about small toy companies. We talk about small toy businesses. We talk about all that kind of stuff. And we still talk about the big ones too. Just we don't focus on them as much. We try to focus in on the brutal realm and the ace and
you mean the companies that are making cool shit?
Yeah, the companies that are making cool shit, and the companies that don't have stick up their butt, or I don't know, the people that actually care about the toy individual.
Oh yeah, they're passionate about it.
Yeah. So tune in as we talk about that on this show. It's freaking figures. And I totally forgot to talk about, there's probably a bunch of people that are out there wondering, because we actually streamed to a couple new networks. I forgot to bring that up, but oh well. If you're lost, should have checked out the previous episodes. But I digress. So yeah, there's that. And then there'll be an outro video that I'll be playing that has every show on the Madness Network that we are a part of. Every show to date that I'm aware of anyway. So stay tuned for that. And see you next week for Carry On and Die Hard.
Woo!
Thunder Nerds Ho!
Click on the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Oh! New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic bright.